Okay, good evening and welcome to lockdown sessions number 16. I've lifted the mats up tonight because I was getting a bit fed up with them. I don't mind training on the mats. I don't mind them being there to help with knees and keeping with, excuse me a moment while I just turn off the notifications. While I use them as a plan to help with the footwork or to help direct things. However, there are no mats outside. We become restricted by our use of mats, just like we become restricted by our use of gis, and we can become restricted by our use of certain habits. And we develop new habits, and then we forget the old habits. What a wonderful habit is driving. And then we forget walking. And then we start walking again, and then we start power walking, and then we power walk everywhere. And then we're not actually benefiting from the walk. So then we start a new fad. And not a fad, we start to build a new habit, or we get a new idea that's going to give us this ability to be fit or healthy or strong. When it comes right down to it, it comes down to this in here. You decide that you're maintaining a practice and that you are going to do something for a period of time. It could be for 5 days, it could be for 25 days, it could be for 125 days. You practice and it builds and it grows. You know, a doctor doesn't just go to hospital and learn to be a doctor of one thing. You cover the whole arena. And that's what we need to do with our practice. We need to make sure that we're covering all the bases. So this evening I'm also training in my shoes or in my trainers, because that's how I normally train. That's how I'm normally going to be when a crisis situation goes down, or I decide that I'm outside and I'm going to do a little bit of random yoga or whatever it might be that I'm doing that day. Language is so important. Use the correct language to describe what you are doing. Terms like work, working out, exercise, stretching, the limited. Yoga, even that can be limited in its thoughts. Okay, so we're going to start standing up and we're going to get to it. So, according to T, I'm going to do 10 of each exercise, or we can look at maintaining it for a period of time. Build it into your program. I've got half an hour in the morning. I need to do X, Y, and Z. Fine tune what time you've got. I'm going to talk about some arm and wrist mobility. We do our movements here. However, there are other movements available. This knuckle here is the ridge hand. And we're going to use this knuckle here as our first guide. And then we're going to use pinky knuckle as our second guide. Or the thumb can lead and the little finger can lead, depending upon how you want to look at it. However, the ridge hand is a really nice and important striking area when we come to our martial application. We want to create a figure of 8. We want this figure of 8 to travel all the way behind us. I want half the figure of 8 in front of me. The crossing over is at my hip, and then I take it behind. And I'm just going to take my time with it. We can find a rhythm that suits us. Move it through. So again, this is getting shoulder mobility, but it's also creating a twist. Forward folds, back bends, twists, side bends, balances, and head rotations. And then we're going to change direction. Don't think about it, just do it. It's like a slogan for some sort of sport. We could use a slogan like, just do it. Speaking to a child. Move in. And flow. Nice and gently. Look at your movement. Look at your circle. Once we've done 10 of those, we switch on to the other side. Wrist bent, pressure comes onto the back of the wrist. You're just going to put a little bit of gentle pressure onto the wrist, tuck it into your torso. I've got to kneel in position actually, so it's a little bit easier to see. I call this neck stretch. So this is the crane's head or snake. We're working on this to strike with the reverse palm, but also to make us more resistant to wrist blocks. Then we're going to come into what I call the hashtag stretch. Stretch again. So cross the fingers and extend the arm. Really nice action. And you can repeat these, you can go through them in little sequences. I like this particular one because I've fitted it together in my little mind as a routine. 10 seconds approximately for each one of the stretches. However, more time is available. Onto the elbow, and then we're stretching it across the body. This is active. The left hand is pulling in. Okay, so now this is the next tricky one for a lot of people, not turning around, but this is where your blanket might be useful, or you can use your t-shirt to help you. The right hand, which is straight, and now take it up over the shoulder, bring the left hand up to meet. I'm trying to grip hold of something to help me. And if it means that you're using your t-shirt, a blanket, a belt, a stick, or even your own hair, it doesn't really matter. Because what you're doing is you're helping yourself to get better. And if you've not got a partner to practice this with, don't worry, because you can visualize your partner. So if Alice comes over and she strangles me, that's quite firm. She could probably be firmer, however I won't be able to talk. What I'm now looking at is that this shouldn't happen. She shouldn't have got here in the first place. However, that's another story, that's another session. So from this position, I'm now going to take my stand, hands come down, arms come up. And I just heard that little ow in her ear. Kathy, you missed that. Yeah, we get to do it. Yeah, now. So, and I can't correct her feet, so you can't actually see the feet position here. Let's just turn this down, because this is quite important as well. You should be able to just see the arms working now. So as I step out, the arms come down and douche, douche. Strange word. So this time I'm going to strangle Alice. Now then, she needs to bend her knees and drop the hands in. Slightly different, because from here we're going backwards this time, but I want to go up and down. Try that. Really use your voice. Stepping backwards, not backwards. Side. Cool. Let's try that with Grace, please. Horse stand. And what's going to happen next, Grace? Oh! Because it doesn't always work. It doesn't always work. And you've got to bear in mind what's going on. There's somebody coming at you, your broom handle comes in, because now I can go up, down, and then wrap around to then apply the lock on. So these things serve more than one purpose, because that's the position that you want your hand in to do this lock. And then what you do is you turn your body into it. So when you see these staff movements, there's more to it than just doing a fancy holding of the staff. There's all sorts of things going on here. So again, I'll demonstrate this time with Grace. I'm going to just show her once more. We'll go to right stance this time. Let's see what we can see. So she punches. I come off with the block, the elbow's gone high. It drops down here. So I'm trapping her under my armpit. The lock comes on by the elbow here. And this is quite important. Above and below. And now what I'm doing is I turn into it. And that's where your staff is going to really help you, because that's the same position that allows you to turn. So, you know, some of these things that you need, because we haven't got anybody, you know, you can use this wonderful piece of equipment that's available from your local store. Let's see whether Grace can do the technique now. Because this is the ultimate test of it, is taking this specimen here that you might saw on lockdown 0 and seeing how well she interprets the move. Ready, Grace? Now you guys know the bits about why this is working. Again, for those who are wondering how she's dealing with this punch, you should have watched other sessions. And there's more to watch. Arm and twist like that. Go again. Go again. You punch me. Up, in, trap here, wrap and snap. Wrap and snap. Ready? Let's go. Once more. Out, in. That's it. And now use your torso. That's it. There you go. Now do it. That's better. And now for Alice's go. And you know what? It doesn't matter if you get this wrong, because it's about practice, practice, practice. If you're using this in a self-defense situation and you get it wrong, well, you shouldn't have done because you've not been practicing it enough. Sounds quite real. What is the best form of self-defense? You will know this answer. Comments below for whatever it is you do. Chest in. Jaw. More on the elbow with your nice edge. That's it. Very nice. Thank you. So